Hello, I'm Eric Miskell. I am at Apex 2026 in the Aegis Software booth with Jason. Jason, good to see you again.
Thanks, Eric.
It's our annual get-together
Yes,
at a
it is.
trade show, isn't it? Listen, I want to talk to you about a few things, some of which you'll see going in the background. We'll get into this. But so last year, Aegis was acquired,
Yes.
right? And then 3 months after that, there was another acquisition of what we're seeing here, the Simio.
Yes.
Kind of talk through those events and what it means for Aegis.
Well, it's been really exciting since our acquisition by Peak Rock, and then, as you said, very rapidly thereafter, we acquired Simio. And the reason is that if we look at Factory Logix and what it's done for the industry for many years, at the top level, it's superb at telling people what happened. So traceability, analytics about what occurred, and so forth. So it tells you the past, and that's rock solid. But it also tells you, it gives you command over what's happening at the moment, the present, process interlocking, production control, and so forth. Everyone has a feel for that with MES. But where we stopped was, well, customers want to know what's going to happen in the future. Is my schedule, or if I change this line configuration, what would actually happen to production? All those future things, like how do we tell them, give them the capacity to know what the perfect schedule is, all that forward looking. And Simio literally does that. So it is a perfect fit inside the Factory Logix platform. And what Simio offers, which is actually running here, is it takes the digital twin of the product and the process that Factory Logix has, and it gives life to it, I guess you could say. It is a reality engine. So what it's doing here is based on ERP data, the physical configuration of the factory, staffing, and performance, it actually can run a virtual representation in incredible detail of exactly what will happen in production, which then that's used as the core of advanced planning and scheduling. So rather than a black box system that's just a pile of algorithms that tells you what it thinks your schedule should be, this runs it through a reality simulator and gives you the ideal schedule.
Yeah, because it's that what-if analysis. So, and it could do any process. So after it does the initial factory, can you then choose a particular function within the factory and say, run a scenario here, what if here, how do we?
That's precisely what it can do. The Simio tech is really process agnostic. It has optimized things like visitor flow into stadiums to optimize checkpoints, and it is, like I said, it's like a reality engine. And what you can do is you say, well, we have a work center of 5 SMT lines. I want to see the rest of the factory's model is running, but I want to see right now, well, what happens if we shifted it to production on another line? And you can look at the simulation within that subset. So you can really refine. It actually can support plant design. Like, are we laid out the right way?
Yeah. See, that's a great point. As I visit EMS, what they tell you, say, how often you reconfigure your factory? You know, a lot of the high mix, lower volume ones, it's once or maybe more a year, right? So a tool like this, instead of the laborious chalking the ground and trying to figure it out, right?
None of that.
None of that anymore. You can just fast forward that and kind of, I think I heard the term master the future here being applied.
Exactly, because it's a lot less expensive and lower risk to literally put it into the model and say, well, what happens if we did move? Or I know one very good customer of ours, they tend to move their factory configuration massively every couple of years. And I've often thought, you know, if they could do that virtually, they could save a lot of maybe mistakes and cost.
What other benefits are customers realizing from this?
Well, the best part, I think, the most fundamental value is the advanced planning and scheduling. Because what we've learned is people spend good amounts of money on APS systems and sometimes they're within the ERP or what have you. But you know what you find in the planning offices in these plants, no matter how much they spend on a big APS system, there is a group of people that is taking the schedule that came out of that software and putting it into Excel. And my feeling is if you're taking something from a product you bought and putting it into Excel to tweak it, maybe you didn't really get the right schedule. Simio, because it's based on the reproduction of reality, not reproduction, the projection of reality, you don't have to, you get the schedule that actually is ideal. You're not getting something you then have to tweak. And that's a huge value.
So for customers of Aegis, is this is it already part of the system they get? Is this a plug-in, an add-on? How does this work?
Well, one of the great things about the combination was that early in our investigation and so forth, their founder and our CTO and co-founder started looking at data models. And the digital twins in Factory Logix, without change, fed a great deal of the data model that Simio uses. So the bridge is done between the systems already. And it's amazing because when Simio goes into an environment like a pharmaceutical factory or something, they typically have to gather data from ERP and other systems in order to feed the model. When it's a Factory Logix user, the data is already there. So imagine running a representation of the factory, if you're a Factory Logix user, with just turning the bridge on, and all of a sudden you're getting that that schedule showing up in the Factory Logix system.
Yeah, that's excellent. I'm watching this as it happens.
It's distracting.
It really is. Because, and that was pretty quick too. So now as we move forward with this, how do you see this expanding and continuing to benefit your customers?
We see it as, well, the Simio section, they still sell to pharma and, like I said, stadium optimization, drive-throughs for fast food.
Have them figure out airplane loading and unloading.
You know what? That could be a huge market right now, I think. And maybe storm modeling.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So that's still ongoing. But the way we're looking at it is we think this is the path to the truly autonomous operation where and I don't mean not having any humans around, but all the aggravating portions of operations where you have that planning office that's filled with beleaguered people that are trying to adapt to all the changes that happen every day. We can automate all of that inside the envelope of Factory Logix, and our customers are finding it very exciting.
How easy is it for the customers to adopt? Is it kind of intuitive how you do this, or how's the hands-on part for the customers?
It's a great question. There's functional levels of it. So if you are interested in getting an ideal schedule in the Factory Logix, and then also I should note, since Factory Logix knows when anomalies occur, it can refire the reality simulation and get a new schedule, and fast. It's actually remarkably fast. So what I just described, pretty much a Factory Logix user can be up and running right away. There's not much to do, really. It's using the Factory Logix data and so forth. But Simio has higher levels that go into very advanced what-if scenarios, modeling, like we were talking about. If you actually want to know, is your factory designed properly? Should you reorient everything? So that's higher levels of the product. And that does require a bit more interaction.
And I'm assuming there's world-class support to help the customer in the process.
Certainly. And something Simio organizationally brought is because of the nature of the work they do, they have a superb industrial engineering section of the company that helps customers. So you imagine, I've talked to several customers already. They love this idea, and their reaction is, well, my IEs are already either, some don't have them, or they're already overloaded with other things.
Yeah.
So that section of the business can actually step in and effectively help the customer with like a managed service of IE resources through Aegis.
Yeah. I got to tell you, what I love about this is, I come to these shows and we always ask, what's new this year, right? It's like, well, it's the next version of what I did last year, right?
It's an evolution.
This is new, right? This is really exciting and really a real add-on that certainly moves this forward for Aegis and its customers in a very dramatic way.
Yes, we see it the same way. It's the planning and the scheduling and knowing. Imagine being an owner-operator of a contractor in New England or something, and you're constantly worried, is my plant laid out properly? And they just know they can't afford to shut it down and do all the modeling and everything. It's great, and it's just great for many applications.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. So if you're interested, contact Aegis, right?
Yes.
Contact to find out, because I've been watching this, and it's very cool, and I think this is... and it just shows how fast this industry is moving, too. That's the one thing I'm getting here. It's the first day of the show, but still, this industry is still just moving fast and quickly and getting better all the time.
Yep.
What a great example. So, Jason, we're going to talk again next show.
And we'll have something new.
We'll have something new again. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thanks, Eric. It's my pleasure.